Hold on. Hello, everybody. It is Friday. Welcome to the Dennis and Andy Show.
Give us the thumbs up if you actually see us.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up because I swear I hit the live button 7 minutes ago.
We have been talking for 7 minutes to an audience that didn't exist.
Of an audience of nobody for 7 minutes. I did not hit. See, the thing with StreamYard is you actually have to click the button twice. You click go live and then it pops up again and you click it. I didn't click it the second time. So Randy, hello. Marcus, hello. We are here. I, of course, am the one that's always ready for the show, prepared, wearing the Dennis and Andy Show uniform. Dennis has no respect for the show.
I, of course, wore my Robotech shirt. I was planning on bringing my DNA shirt. My buddy's been in town for a week with my guide kids, and we brought him over to meet Andy, and we were having a nice... And I forgot it sitting there. It's sitting there ready to go. So... Anyway, just like McDonald's, they would let me bring this shirt on because it's Robotech and cool. You get a Robotech shirt instead of my DNA.
I'll let it pass because you represented last night on Peter Cimetti's channel wearing his DNA shirt.
Super fun.
I had my Astonishing Comics shirt on, which are available at the TeePublic store if you want to get an Astonishing Comics shirt for yourself.
Or DNA.
Or DNA. James Murphy, hello. Randy Howell, hello. Let's see. Aaron Sarg, hello. B.S. Warren, Marcus Killigrew, Prater7, Randy Howell popping links like a madman. Hello. One of our guests is here. Our guest today is Mark Poulton, and Chris Graves is going to be joining us as well, the artist of the project. We'll get to him in a moment. But first, we want to raise a toast. A toast to the 4th of July, to America. And we're not doing it with Bud Light. Hell no. We're doing it with Ultra Right.
That's right. The beer for conservative dads and men
baby.
Everywhere.
We
no
got
garbage,
this.
No nothing except pure America.
Brewed and canned by Big Kettle Brewing in Lawrenceville, Georgia. They put this out, started marketing it like a few days after that Bud Light garbage Dylan Mulvaney crap. We ordered it. It came a few days ago, and we saved it for the stream. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Let's see how it tastes.
Happy
Smells like beer.
America. That is Miller.
That is a typical Miller tasting beer. I'm not knocking it, but that's what it is. If I had it in a glass, it probably looks just like any other type of ale, yellow, but it's not bad. We got a 6-pack. 3 for each, 1 to drink, 1 to never open, and another 1 to drink on another live stream.
If I'm going to give my money for basic beer to anybody, I would rather give it to a conservative American.
Brewed here in Georgia. Hell yeah.
We do love microbreweries, so, AJ gave us a bunch of really cool microbrewery beers from Indiana, and we will be taking those one at a time and giving you guys our opinion of them. This tastes like Miller. And you know what? Those of you that love Miller, I would say Ultra Right is a beer. You're going to pay a little bit more, but it's going to a good company.
I don't even remember what it cost. I think it was like $20.
It was like $20.
But that's okay. It's an independent brewer. It's not a big company and stuff, so that's fine. Support it. Another swig.
Yep. And we'll be periodically drinking throughout the show.
That's
and I'm not
right.
driving today. Woohoo!
That's right. That's what your wife's for. James Murphy tastes like Miller, no filler, but it don't taste like Bud Light because it's all right, America.
Less filling, tastes great. I think
right.
It tastes fine. Less filling. Boy, that reminds me of an ad that should be coming out.
I know. It says, tag us on social media enjoying your Ultra Right beer. But I'm trying to see where it's Ultra... Okay, so it's ultrarightbeer.com. Support American values, eat steak, lift weights, be uncensorable, drink a little beer. Hell yeah. So check it out. Where did I buy it? From their website. They shipped it to us. it was never. I assume in the refrigerator. It's nice and cold. Tastes great. It's all good. Until Mark gets here, we'll bring on Chris Graves. Hello.
Yo, how you doing, guys?
How you doing, man?
All right.
Oh, I got to fix this so we can actually.
Is that me?
There we go.
I hear an echo. I don't know if that's me or you.
It's ultra right, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Ultra right.
Steaks and weights, man. It's right up my
Steaks
alley.
and weights. You know all about that. Look at you. Good Lord.
So what's going on, boys?
Not too much. It was good meeting you last weekend or two
hell
weekends
yeah.
ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, we were talking about that, man. Like how it was just a great vibe all around.
Yeah, it really was. So are you located in Jersey then?
Yeah, man. I'm South Jersey, like 10 minutes from Mark.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool. So how many hours do you put in working out to be that big?
yeah. Nah, less hours, a lot of steroids.
Damn it, that's my problem. That's my problem. I just need to juice it in the butt cheek.
You know,
few
but
times a
I
week.
bet they're conservative American steroids.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
Homegrown, you know.
That's right.
Local.
Love it.
None of that Mexican garbage. Come on now. That stuff.
Nah,
like
man.
balls
Yeah,
fall
yeah.
off.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Tell me about it.
Steroidos.
You grow a
That's
third
right.
nut or something.
Exactly. What's up, Phil? So yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad you could join us today.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
man.
how
Good
is
deal.
so? Give us a little bit about your background and stuff, art wise.
Yeah, we've had Mark on.
Yeah,
so
we've had Mark on
We
before.
know him, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time you've gotten to come on. So we
Yeah,
always
man.
like to ask, what's your origin story?
So my origin story was I was a consummate doodler, but I never really considered doing art professionally at all. And then a buddy of mine brought me a tattoo kit that he got off Amazon, and then I started playing around with that, and then I started trying my hand at comics, and especially when COVID hit, just to get some extra income, I started doing a couple covers, and I just got published probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, that's cool. You know, it's funny. You were a constant doodler. Dennis was a constant diddler when he was Boy Scout leader. Almost the same.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a diddler, but a self diddler. So I don't know
Right.
about the Boy Scout stuff, you know.
Right. Well, there you can't see it, but there's like this little partition between us right here,
Yeah,
crotch level, so he cannot, partake in the diddling during the show.
I wasn't sure if you had someone under there skating. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you.
That's Christina.
Yeah, exactly. B.S. Warren says, "Sweet Christmas." Yes, it is.
You know, you guys think, for those of you who haven't met Andy or I in person, yes, this is how Andy is every day. He doesn't just do this for the show. This is a 24/7, 365 Andy, and I deal with it all the time.
He does.
Yes. I'm going to attest to that because I met him the first time I met him at the con. He was telling us a story about his video. That,
Sure.
it's pretty wild. So yeah, he's out there.
Yeah. Once you hang out with me once, you're like, oh yeah, he is like that all the time,
Hell
not
yeah,
just
dude.
on streams.
I got warned
I call that down to earth.
when I first met Andy. They were like, "Oh no, dude, that's just Andy." And I'm like, "Seriously? No, dude, that's Andy." Yeah, they weren't joking. What you see is what you get.
It's true.
That's how it should be,
It's
man.
damn true.
It is.
Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate Mark and you giving us each a copy of the Ash Can for WRITHE PAYNE. That reminds me, actually, I always ask when Mark comes on, I'll have him share his screen, but
Yeah.
I want to pull it up because I actually saved it, or I hadn't backed it yet because I wanted to do it when you guys were on. So I will get that up so I can do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
You
what
guys
I like
got
to
any
do.
other-
If I know a guest is coming on, then I'm all about going, all right, I'll just wait till they're on the show.
You guys have another con set up, or is that the only one for a little while? You guys going?
No, that was it for a little bit, I believe.
For actually setting up and stuff like that.
Okay.
We actually go to a number of cons. I know Arcadia's coming up. that next week or 2 weeks, Larry puts on a fantastic show.
Oh, dude, that's not till September.
Oh, is it really that far out? I was thinking
Yeah,
it was
dude.
coming up. I don't know.
God, you're insane.
There's so many
You're
shows.
so insane.
I'm not insane.
You are.
My entire last 3 weeks has just been, it's been a blur. It's just been really completely nonstop. There it is.
That's right. I found it. Let me,
There it is.
I found it. A little quick image or search on Indiegogo, and boom. So then, would I be correct in saying this is your first full book you're doing here?
Correct. Yep.
Wow,
I did.
You're doing pencils and inks, correct? Or
Yes.
wow.
Well, I'm having like things like Chance Wolf. He's a buddy of mine. And
Oh yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah,
I've never met him, but I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man. I hooked up with him about 3 years ago. We both did a cover for a book, and then he's seen the image that you just had up there, the double page looking spread, and he asked if he could
Oh yeah.
jump in on the inks, and I was more than happy to say yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Well, you know what?
he's done about like 10 pages, I believe.
I think we should play the video. If you shared sound, I say we just play the video now so that our viewers can get a sense of the book so we can ask questions.
All right, well, let's see if I did. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Can you hear it?
Yes, sir.
Says can't hear it now.
Oh, what?
Says there's no sound. Can't hear
Oh,
it now.
well, that was the end. I think what happened. Well, so you heard it, and then it just stopped towards the end.
Yeah. Well,
You know
I think
what?
middle.
I hit echo cancellation because I'm like, well, let me do that. Then I don't have to turn our mic off. But apparently, hitting echo cancellation just totally took it all out. But that was at the end. So
Is this Friday the 13th?
Live
It
and
feels
learn.
like it. The show didn't start. We were live and laughing, and nobody was there talking with us. We're like, what? We
Well,
are having technical
you
problems
know,
on this. It is Friday.
I'm,
Andy's been drinking all day long, so I guess that has something to do with it.
well, I'd say I was doing coke, but apparently it's in the White House, so I
Mhm.
can't. Good Lord.
Well, you just have to check it out of the library.
my library. They don't know where it went. Guys, I can tell you this. If I misplace something and then I find it, like, oh, Dennis, I misplaced my pencil. Well, where'd you find it? I found it in my kitchen. You know what? The next day, I'm not going to go, Dennis, I was wrong. I found my pencil in my living room. And then the next day, I'm not going to go, no. I was wrong, Dennis. I found my pencil in my laundry room.
And then, no, that's not my pencil.
No.
That's somebody else's pencil that was walking through my house
Right.
and must have left my pencil sitting there.
Right.
Wow. Anyway, now we know about Andy's pencil.
That's right.
It's
Wow.
short, not very sharp.
My wife can attest to that.
Stop.
All right, let's look at this sucker now. I'm going to
Mhm.
back it like I said. What's up, Genuine Comics? Hello. All right, let's see. Oh, you don't have your laptop.
I do
That's
not.
right.
Again, this was a weird day, and I have no laptop.
Back it on your phone.
Oh, actually, I can.
See? Dennis usually does the same thing, but yeah, he forgot his laptop, which is weird. Usually you only see Dennis from like here up.
Yeah, you guys get the full bus shot.
Oh yeah,
This
gunshot.
man who's put on a little extra weight this last week.
And I apologize to you all. All right, let's see. I'm probably going to be getting your cover because
Oh, well, I
that's
appreciate
the
it.
one Oh, you know what? Here's a question that you can answer.
Shoot.
On the black and white edition,
Yes.
word balloons or not?
Word balloons.
There
The
will
idea is,
be.
yeah. So like this way, if you're just into the black and whites, but you still want to be able to read the story, that was our thought process.
Cool. Well, then that's the one I'm actually doing. As much as I like full color, I do like black and white art. But see, and that's the thing, because like when the Kor-Drath one, it really is more of an artist edition, and because none of the pages have balloons on them, we're not doing any, in it either.
Gotcha.
So nice. Now this will be fun because I'll proceed to checkout, and they'll be like, tip, and I'll be like, no.
Everybody, make sure you get Andy's information.
Screenshot.
You can't see anything.
Yeah, and that's what she said.
Oh, damn.
Oh, snap. It must be Friday.
It is Friday because you're fully loaded today. I don't like being on this side taking the abuse. At least not on camera.
Exactly.
There I am. Look at that.
Hell yeah.
I love how they show this little dog now, too. Beautiful. All right, let me get back to the actual campaign. Let me stop sharing the screen while I do it real fast. Just do that.
Yeah.
So how far, when is the book is expected to ship? I don't even remember.
Yeah, me neither. Mark handles that fun stuff. I'm pretty sure, I want to say February, but okay. I'm in a situation now to where I'm able to really focus on the book. So my line should be done by end of summer. And I'm already, I'm 40. It's going to be like 60 plus, like 65 pages, and I'm already like 40 in. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's moving pretty good.
And you're working, I assume, totally traditional, or?
No, I'm doing a combination. Like,
okay,
especially with my time, I do digital just to be able to kind of rip through some of the, basic pages, and then with some of like the cooler shots or double page spreads, the fun stuff, we're doing traditional.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I heard you guys got shadow banned. So
no, I searched it on Indiegogo.
No, it didn't get shadow banned, huh?
No. All right. So our what happened was our sign up got shadow banned. So Mark figured out a workaround for Indiegogo, and we put it under my name since I really haven't had any campaigns to speak of, and ended up working. Yeah, so we didn't get shadow banned as far as the campaign itself.
Very cool.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, because I had a whole conversation with Mark, so I knew that.
Yeah, no, because that's how because my first thought was that it was, and then when I was typing it into the search on Indiegogo, I was like, well, this is pointless, but boom, it came up. So
yeah.
Well, cool. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the story? When Mark gets here, we're just going to be like, dude, you're useless now.
Yeah. Job.
Chris did your job, Mark.
Right. That's it's what we pay him for, and he didn't show up. Nah.
That's right. Just like a writer.
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay.
Them diva writers, man. You know how they are. So it's he's a witch. The Sean Patrick Payne. He's a witch hunter, and he's sent to go assassinate a witch. Instead, he falls in love with her. They get married. They put their they decide they're going to put their past life behind and start anew. They have 2 daughters, and one of them goes missing. So now Detective Payne has become hell-bent on figuring out where his daughter went, and because he feels it's part of this string of kidnappings that's going on in his area. As he gets to the bottom of it, as he's still he's so focused in, he's lost connection with his other daughter. And in the meantime, she's developing these witch powers. As he gets close to finding out what's going on, he realizes they got to come together. So it's witch and witch hunter father have to come together and stop this evil that's going on in the town. While he's in the midst of doing this, he gets himself cursed in what we're calling the suit of Sullen. So it's basically, it forces the person who's wearing it to be surrounded by these tortured souls, and it puts you in perpetual agony, but at the same time gives you this Hulk-like ability with these tendrils that kind of flip around, and it makes you also the servant of the person that cast you in it.
Okay. like I said, I looked through the ash can. I dug it. It gives me a Tony Daniel, Greg Capullo / vibe in regards to what you're doing art wise. Um, I love stuff from the '90s, and that's a vibe I get from it too. So I think that's
Yeah.
really cool. Um, who are some of your, I guess, artistic influences and stuff? And what did you enjoy reading? Because I assume you read comics as a kid and stuff.
Yeah. So Todd McFarlane, obviously,
Oh yeah,
just someone you look up to. I mean, just not just artistically, but the way business, like the way he
sure.
marketed himself. Um, Rob Liefeld, same respect. Greg Capullo, um, our own Dale Keown.
Oh yeah.
It's same thing. I love that '90s in your face art, man. Like that shit where it's just stuff's jumping off the page at you, and putting all the details in. So that's what I'm trying to bring with this book here.
Cool.
Well, I'm curious of how the collaboration started. Is it something who contacted who, and how did you kind of get involved in the creative process?
Yeah, so I've been, back in things with Comicsgate since I guess 2018, I guess it was, and
Okay.
one of them was Mark Poulton and Vineland. They put out an art contest, or it was like a pinup for a book, and I had submitted, and I had a brief conversation with Mark back then. Well, then I'm on Facebook, and I guess we were Facebook friends. I didn't realize it. I see that he's working out and that he's a local guy.
Yeah.
So me trying to do my own thing and get a campaign going, I'm like, well, fuck. Let me touch base with this guy. I'll see if we can work out and maybe pick his brain a little bit. And so I shot him a message. He agreed. We hooked up, and I told him about my characters, and he saw the character designs. And he offered to write it, man. He's like, look, if you don't have anything going on, I'd be happy to do it, which was perfect because, one, I knew nothing about campaigns. And I knew this man has just been, that's all he does is campaigns, right? So, and also putting the story together. Like I have cool ideas, well, what I think are cool ideas and scenes that I see, but I was struggling having to get them into like a cohesive linear story. Right. And, he just jumped in. I said, look, there's certain things that I definitely want in there, but you have free reign, and he's just done some awesome shit, man. And I can't wait for everybody to get a hold of it.
So that's really cool. So you actually, because that was a question I had as kind of a follow-up, but you answered it, was, so you actually had these characters designed when you took the idea to Mark. They were visualized and everything.
Yes. I had the characters designed and like a very basic story. Like I kind of knew where I wanted the setting to be,
right.
But like building stuff around it, like Mark, created like the whole background with the witch hunter and the wife. Like he's doing a lot of cool stuff that I wouldn't have thought of. But yeah, as far as the designs were ready to go. I've been kind of working on them like here and there for about 6 or 7 years, give or take.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. When you were, so getting back to the, when you were a kid and stuff, what do you remember what the first, we always like to ask this, what the first comic was you read?
I can't remember the first comic I read, to be honest. It had to be Spider-Man. That much I know. I was watching the cartoons before comics, believe it or not. And then my old man had bought me like one of them ski masks. It was, fucking Spider-Man with the web on. I'm running around. My old man, he even made he took string and made this big ass spider web so I could just fucking throw it at people. It was. Oh, wow. I was just so into them at the time. And then I think it was a buddy of mine brought in an Amazing Spider-Man from that Todd McFarlane had did. And then my mind was just kind of blown from there. And then that's when, I started collecting a lot of Todd's work as far as Spider-Man comics go, which led to Image, which led to a lot of the Spawn stuff also.
So are you totally self-taught, or did you go to art school after high school or any type of college for art or anything? Or
I didn't do anything official, but it's hard to say self-taught, especially with all the videos and stuff that's out there. And because you're pretty much, you're getting a lesson from the guys that done it before you, especially like, Jim Lee and some of these other guys that are putting videos out there. But yeah, for the most part, it's just been, just drawing.
That does bring up a really good point though, because on the Kings Monday night, somebody in the chat asked, super chatted Ethan and asked the panel basically what they recommend in regards to like art schools or learning or, what to do after high school. I think the person was like 17, not from the United States. I can't remember what country they lived in, but, I know I said, and some of the other people did too, was honestly, just go to YouTube. I mean, Dave Finch's channel, he does a bunch of how-to stuff on his channel. You can find everything, and it's not just comics, it's anything. It's like, I want to oil paint portraits. Okay, go to YouTube. Now it is a little harder because, you can't ask questions and get a nice back and forth. So it is limiting, but compared to when I was growing up, I went to art school in '88. There was no internet, nothing like that. It was just books, basically, and that's it. And how-to books are good to an extent, but I'm the type that, yes, I learned things from reading how to draw books, but I learned faster when somebody showed me.
Yeah, I agree.
People have now.
I think that's how, I don't know, maybe most creatives are kind of wired that way, because I'm the same way. You can tell me till you're blue in the fucking face. Until you kind of put it down and you explain it to me, I'm not really going to grasp it. And so, yeah, there's something to school about. It's kind of fast track. So all the mistakes that you'll make that someone will see and let you know later on, you'll have that guy that's or whoever showing you, okay, well, this is fucked up. You got to move it. You got to move it along here or fix this here. But I mean, what you're paying to go to these schools, I mean, depending on the job you're trying to get, you got to really decide if it's worth that investment for you. So
yeah, I mean, for instance, I know the Kubert School. I know, I think the tuition's pretty much, maybe a little more than double from when I went. So it's not really that bad.
Okay.
When I went to the Kubert School, it was like $8,500 a year. So I think it's still under 20 a year. So I mean, that's really not that bad.
Right.
But you look at a place like SCAD, right, in Savannah, and that place, I think if you're out of state going there, coming in from out of state, I think you're looking at almost 45, 50 grand a year.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And you don't need it's like you get a bachelor's degree. That's nice. But to do comics, I mean, honestly, to do anything art wise, even, video game design and concept design, stuff like that for movies, storyboards, whatever, you don't need a degree. And I've talked to enough art directors and have seen enough ads where, in the ad for on-site concept designer, say a video game company, the ad might say, bachelor's degree and blah, blah, blah. But I've talked to enough art directors where they're like, yeah, we kind of have to put that in. But honestly, if your portfolio rocks, we don't give a crap if you just graduated high school.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean.
Because it's art, I get it if it's math or something, but.
Right. And at the end of the day, I mean, you can have that bachelor's all you want. If you show them the portfolio and it looks like dog shit,
exactly,
you're not getting hired regardless of the
right
degree.
So. The biggest thing I tell people in regards to the Kubert School is, I like to teach, and I didn't know it back at the time when I was going. And even if I did, I wouldn't have gone to a different school. But, to teach at like a college, you have to have a bachelor's degree, if not a master's, right? So when I taught, I can only be an adjunct professor. So basically a part-time professor. And, being a part-time professor, the pay for that is crap. I mean, it's just garbage. So you're really doing it because you enjoy it.
Right.
And even the guy that hired me, and this is over a decade ago, was like, man, I'd love to have you full-time, but the stupid policy and rules for teaching at a university, you got to have a degree. So, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to school for that.
Yeah, Adam Miller said all they really care about is the portfolio. And
yeah, it is.
It really is. If you knock their socks off with that, I don't think they care. Even in my old line of work, it was, on the networking side, I didn't care when I hires you from like Herzing College and stuff. I don't care that you had a degree. If you could come in and you could build PCs and work your way into networking and continue, same thing. This is no different. I don't care what you have for a degree as long as you can do the job and you have a willingness to learn and improve yourself.
No, it makes perfect sense. Like even in my wife's field, like, she's in law enforcement stuff, but, to be an investigator, she missed the credits by 5 points for her degree or some shit like that. And,
Right.
but she's been in the business 15, 20 years, whatever. And, the person coming in isn't going to know half of what she knows, but because you don't have the right certificate, they don't allow you to do it. It's all the time.
Right. Yeah. And it's just, for certain things, it's just it just doesn't make sense. Now, look, if I'm hiring you at Hooters, you can be a chubby, overweight chick with a great degree. You went to some fashion beauty thing, and I'm like, hit the bricks, lady.
Yeah.
Some 21-year-old walks in that's a perfect 10 that can't even spell her name correctly. I'm like, you don't have to serve food. Wear these shorts, wear that tight top, squish them together, and get out there and
get out there and make me money.
Isn't that right, Dennis?
And that's why we go to Hooters.
Exactly.
I'm mad at you.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with it. So, I mean, not to get too far off track, but I mean, that's kind of like the way colleges are going now anyhow. You look at trades and stuff and, like Billy Tucci's son is a welder.
Yep.
And that was just a technical school. Another friend of mine, his kid's a mechanic. He went to a NASCAR school here because we're in Charlotte. So it's like, an hour north of here. But it's weird because when he said he was going to a NASCAR school, I'm like, to be like, a pit crew. And he's like, no, they teach the full mechanic, full thing to be a mechanic. It's just, that's the name, whatever. But it's still just a technical trade school.
That's one of the things that's happening in today. Everybody, it's been a process for years now. They want you. The colleges are pushing. A lot of the colleges are turning into universities. They want the 4-year degrees. They want the 8-year degrees. They want you to spend all their money going to college for a degree in, I don't know, diversity and equity that is going to do nothing for you in the real world once the companies stop doing this. How about you just spend the money on a 2-year trade school, become an apprentice, learn a skill that you really want to enjoy, because those tradesmen right now are the ones making all the money. And yet, even from high school, these kids are drilled into their head time and time again. You need your master's. You want your PhD. Yeah, if you're going to be a doctor or something like that, great. But seriously, try and call somebody to come over and fix your HVAC, or you take them into your car. Those are the guys that are making money because everybody's losing those skills.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And, part of that is what they're teaching you, though. I mean, Christ, I remember when I'm 40, I'll be 45 in August. I remember when I was in high school, even when they had shop class and shit, for you to do, they were still kind of bashing the fact that if you wanted to be like a laborer or any type of person that work, or a tradesman that works with their hands, it's almost like, go to college, so you don't have to work so hard. So it's almost like they painted this picture like it was a bad thing. So, and maybe it's by design to force all the, not force, but, coerce these kids into going into college and getting these degrees they can't afford that don't do shit for them. And I mean, even now, like my daughter's in high school and they don't have fucking shop class in there.
No, dude, my daughter, I'm right there with you. Mine graduated a few years ago, 2 years ago. And there was the biggest thing that cracks me up is, this is the computer age, right? Yep. Everything's being done on a computer. I mean, she had a Chromebook for school and all that, right?
Yep.
They don't have a typing class. She hunts and pecks one finger style, right? Yeah. I took a typing class in high school. They don't have they don't teach cursive. My daughter, when we go somewhere and she uses her debit card or credit card and they're like, sign your name. Now she has some type of squiggle down, but that's only because we were like, look, and when she got her learner's permit and she had to sign that for driving, I told her, I said, squiggle something down, just make sure whatever it is, you always do the same thing, and that'll just be your signature. I mean, you don't know what it says, but they don't teach cursive. And
They
it's
don't-
like, well, how are you expected? At least teach them enough to sign their damn name.
Right.
No.
They don't do anything in typing. I had electric typewriters. I still remember having to go through it, backspacing. I know when Andy did it, they still had the stone tablets and you sat there and chipped away at it. But, at least they taught you a workable skill.
Dennis, when I did it, I had the typewriter where once it got to the end, I had to push it back myself.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Have to take the white out on there.
I homeschooled my kids for a while, and first thing I did, guys, I already know that computers are going to be important. I bought them a keyboarding program. It was just called keyboarding. It was like a Border Bruns keyboarding, and man, they learned it. They all type very well and stuff like that. They go to school. Yeah, there's no cursive. There's no typing. There's no keyboarding. There's no nothing. I mean, therefore, there's no critical thinking, no writing, no nothing. It's stunning to me, actually, with what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't think critical thinking is what they want, right? I think it's George Carlin. I won't try and redo the whole thing because I'll fuck it all up. But basically, they want people, to go to school. They want you smart enough to hit the buttons, but not too smart where you start thinking about how bad you're getting fucked, So they just want you to be able to get into warehouses, hit the buttons, and move on.
This is funny. Randy's like, do they even teach you how to fill out a check? No.
Matter of fact, I just had this conversation with kids that are younger than my kids, and are like, oh, so you had, reconciling, accounting, something,
Right.
records keeping. Now, do you know how to reconcile a checkbook? What's a checkbook? They have no concept of what any of this is. Well, it's in my debit card, and I hit it, and I tap it now, and that's it. And I was like, so you have no idea if what you should have in your amount, in your debit, your checking account's the same. No clue. They don't teach any of the skills in school now.
No, I agree. Anything my daughters know about, credit cards, credit, checks, saving, anything like that comes from us.
Right.
And my daughter's she's in advanced classes and stuff, but even then they're not teaching you anything that you're going to use in real world. They just give you more homework and they tell you, hey, this will help out when you're in college. So make sure you go to college, blah, 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 and get yourself in all kinds of debt.
Well, I tell you, one of the funniest things, I saw this on something this morning I was watching, and they were talking about school stuff and whatnot. Back when we were in school, because we're older than you, but not by too much. You'd be like, well, oh, you can't use your calculator in math class. It's like, okay, you got to work it out in your head. And I'm for that still.
Yeah.
But you can remember the teacher saying, hey, you're not going to have a calculator at all times. It's like, I'm not.
Right.
And that's what they said on the news thing today. And I'm not saying you get rid of math. Obviously you don't. But I think, when I was in high school, and they still do this to an extent, but when I was in high school, you had to take a certain amount of math credits to graduate, a certain amount of English, a certain amount of history. But the point is, by the time I got to my senior year, so in my high school, when I went, we had 6 periods a day. So, 6 different classes, whatever. By the time I got to my senior year, if I did everything correctly leading up to it, I only had to take, I believe, 2 mandatory ones, and then the other 4 were electives. And if I didn't want to do the electives, and electives could be anything like, shop class, like moving on, like there was a year where you had to do it, but then after that, if you want to keep going, it was an elective, so on and so forth.
Yep.
But the point is, or you could do work release, which was, where I grew up, you had to be 50, it's such an arbitrary number, but you had to be 15 years old and 9 months to get a job.
Yeah.
In Maryland. So just so arbitrary. But if you got a job, and most of us got jobs at fast food, if you got a job and you had to work a certain amount of hours every week, then you could leave after your first 2 classes. So you're leaving like around 11:30 to go to work. And then you'd have to just bring in your timesheet and all that crap every week to show that you were obviously working and not just blowing off school. And that's what you got credit for in your senior year.
No, yeah, we had the same shit. I dropped out and got my GED, but no, they had the same shit for you. It was, back when kids wanted to work, and then, you, like you said, if you let it all up, right, you were able to do those things.
All right, well, we're going to get back to comics. Will's like, I really wish we were talking about comics or drawing. No, we're going.
We swirled it. That happens once in a while.
Yeah, we go in tangents.
We digress.
Yeah, that happens.
Honestly, it's one of those things where, I draw all day. So being able to talk about different things is with somebody I just met is fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But back to comics. What's your approach on a page? I assume, does Mark write a full script, I take it?
He does, but he gives me the freedom to kind of like play with the panels or move the camera angles around. He gives me a gist of what he's thinking, and then I'll take it from there. And I'm just
so do you thumbnail it first? Do
yes.
You just go full size layout? What are we looking at?
It's weird, man. Sometimes it feels like it's never the same on each page. Like there's some pages where I'll go like right from thumbnail, I'll expand it, and then I'm going right into inks because I have a pretty clear idea of what I want. Then sometimes I got to pencil the shit out of it. Then there's times I'm like, I can't get it to go digitally. I don't know what the hell is going on. There's like a short in my brain. So then I got to jump traditional and like just to almost like to give it weight. I don't know if that makes any sense, man, but like
no, it does.
For some reason, when I do traditional, there's almost like a different weight to the piece. And sometimes I need to do that, and then I'll scan it and then ink it digitally.
So when you draw digitally, are you working on a Cintiq or an iPad, or what are you working on?
I have both, but I use the iPad. It's just.
Do you really?
Yeah, man. It's just it's convenient. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's convenient, man. Like, I got a family. So family time consists of they put on a movie. And I'm sitting in the recliner and I'm like doing the page, and I'm, hey, did you see that part? Oh yeah, it was great, But at least I'm in the room able to work, So and I'll be in bed, or if we go somewhere, I can bring it with me. And Procreate for me, I think is, I don't know what it is.
That's what I was going to ask. So you use Procreate for the drawing? Yeah,
man. So for whatever reason, I can't fuck with clip art too much.
Have you now? I got to be honest. I don't like the pencil tool in Procreate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way it feels. Right?
Yeah.
But I have both too. I have a Cintiq and I have an iPad Pro, and on both, when I'm drawing, I use Sketchbook Pro because the pencil is just so.
It's great.
It's so intuitive. I mean, it looks like a real pencil. It glides, the way there, like for some reason in Procreate, it even feels like there's just even a split second of a lag when I pull the line with the pencil, Apple Pencil, to when it actually shows up. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but in Sketchbook, there's just none of that. But then Procreate has the great perspective tools and stuff.
Right.
Sketchbook's perspective tools aren't bad, but they're not as good.
Yeah, before iPad Pro came out and I was using like a tablet, that's what I was using. Sketchbook was great, man. And I agree, like it's the pencil second to none. But as far as I don't really get the lag. I know what you're talking about because I experience it more with Clip Studio. Trying to ink with that, I don't know. It just feels really laggy and like you said, I really can't explain it. I hate it. I can't use it. So I found a couple brushes that I dig on Procreate, and the pencil I just use the 6B and I just make it really thin. And so far so good.
Look at Will trying to. What are you talking about, Will? That's funny. Now I know Graham, when Graham does everything on an iPad, Graham Nolan, and he actually bought, and I know Dan Fragasalt was like, oh, I got to get one. And I haven't done it yet because I keep my iPad in a case, a keyboard case.
Mm-hmm.
But have you seen, it's basically like this big, it's probably 2 feet across, maybe 18 inches high.
Mm-hmm.
And then the iPad fits right in the center of it. and it's
Yep.
smooth all the way across because, the iPad's so small. It's not like a desk, so your elbows fall off. That's the other
Yeah.
problem I've had drawing on it. And that's why I do like using my Cintiq more. But I thought about getting it because I agree. I've done some stuff in the house on the iPad, but with Kor-Drath, I'm drawing the whole book 100% traditional, no digital at all, except for
Okay.
after scanning it and stuff.
That's awesome.
So, well, I mean, for most of my career, it's how I've done things.
Yeah.
So while I've done a lot of stuff digital, I find digital where I know it does speed up some people, it can actually slow me down.
That makes
Because,
sense.
for instance, the panel might only be a 2 by 2 inch panel. But if you're doing a digital, man, you can make that thing as big as you want. And then if you have my mindset, you just get lost in it. And the next thing you know, you did all this stuff. And it's like, oh, shit, that's a 2 by 2 inch panel.
Yeah. No.
That was pointless to do all that stuff.
You had it zoomed out the fucking ass, and then you're in there putting all this little detail in there.
Right.
And then when it goes down, it looks like mush. And I'm the same way. Like I always have to pull out like a piece of paper just so I can get the sizes right. Because I don't know, like kind of like what you're saying, it's hard for me to judge some, there's days where I'm like, is that panel too big for what I'm trying to do? And I got to look over to the piece with the blue lines. I'm like, all right, no, it'll work. But no, I hear that, man. And I'll tell you, if this was something I was doing full time, I think I would prefer to do it traditionally. Cause like I said, I like that. I like getting my hands dirty. I like the feel and the weight of actually doing stuff traditional.
Yeah. And I'm just an original art guy. So I like having original art, even when I did First Man. Now, First Man, I drew it all digital, but I printed it out 11 by 17 and inked it traditional so I could have the original art. Let's see. Andy might be using files that are way too big and DPI level reduces lag. There's something called paperless that makes the screen feel textured. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I've got a screen protector on the iPad that gives it that feel of paper, so it's not just sliding across the glass. I don't know. I'll have to think about the DPI thing because I just used basically when I use Procreate, I would just open up an 11 by 17, or actually I don't even do it that size. I'll do it 8 by 12 or in proportion. And then, like I said, I would print stuff out. So when I printed it, it would be 11 by 17. But I never really mess with like the resolution when I'm drawing Procreate because it's not ink, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Comic Hinterlands is asking, do you guys feel your traditional artwork has more energy than your digital artwork or vice versa?
You can go first, then I'll answer.
Yeah. So either way, I mean, there's times where I do something digital and it feels stiff, but the same thing happens when I do traditional. It's, more so it's in the lines and, but now I get the same, not the same result. Like I said, the only thing I feel different with traditional as opposed to digital is like I was talking earlier, repeating myself, but it's just like that weight. I can't explain it, but yeah, no, I don't really have a problem either way with that.
I mean, for me, I do feel I can see why it might happen when I work digitally because of all the layers you can do, because, when I work traditional, it's literally, I do a thumbnail on the actual script. And then from that, I just take out the 11 by 17 Bristol board, roll out the panel borders, and I just start drawing.
Yep.
And once the initial sketch is done, I'll hit it with the kneaded eraser to lighten it up, and then I'll just start tightening it up some more. Whereas digital, I kind of do the same thing. I just add a new layer, reduce the opacity of the sketch layer. Mm-hmm. But because it's digital, it's just a mindset thing. Because it's digital and because I know there's so many things I can do, like, oh, now that I'm looking at it, I could take this whole figure and move it to the right or up or down or make it bigger or smaller. What happens to me is I'll just start getting into that rabbit hole throughout the whole page, and that's why it takes longer. Whereas when I'm drawing traditional,
You
I
get
have
more of
to
a
be
fucking
more
mode.
inventive.
Yeah.
Well, I have to be more creative and inventive to where if I draw something and I'm like, ooh, that's a little too big. If I really think it is, then I'll just, copy it, print it out, erase what I drew, reduce it down some, and then
Yeah.
lightbox it. But 9 times out of 10, I'll try to find a creative way to make it work the way it is. So I don't have to reduce it down, erase it, and then, lightbox it off.
No, that makes sense. And like one of the ways I try to avoid what you're talking about is that's when I'll do my thumbnail and then I'll expand it and then I really won't pencil it. I'm talking digitally. That's
Right.
when I'll go like right into inks because a lot of times something gets stiff, but you'll get stiff when it's overworked or like when you're constantly trying to refine it. So if you're doing layer after layer after layer and you're refining it each time, you lose some of that energy that
Oh, yeah,
free
you're
flow
killing.
energy as when you did the rough. So
Yep.
I mean that might be a part of the that could be a digital problem because you really don't do that as much when you're doing traditional. But yeah, so
Well,
what I'll do is I'll rough maybe another loose pencil and then go into inks to avoid having like stiff figures.
and that's one thing when I was doing digital on the Cintiq. One of the reasons I like using a Cintiq instead is I've got, I think it's the 24-inch size screen Cintiq. So what I tried doing for a while is I would, I'd still work on an image size. It was like 8x12 at a resolution of only like 150 because once again, it was only for penciling. It wasn't for inking. So that was a fine resolution. But what I would do is I take my 11x17 piece of paper, put it on the screen, and then I would enlarge or I would zoom in till the digital page was the same size. And then when I was drawing it digitally, I would try my best not to zoom in and out because on paper you can.
Yep.
So then my mindset was, well, okay, one way to get out of that trap of taking a small panel and making it huge is never zoom in and out. Just get it to the size of what it will be in, real life traditional and never zoom in or out.
No,
so I tried that for a while as well. But
but
I have, like you said with the inking, the thing with inking digitally, I mean, it's not whiteout. You literally erase the line.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what's the point of doing full pencils? You might as well just ink over your layouts because if you don't like the ink line, just erase it and put it down again.
Put a new one. Yeah, double tap.
Yeah, there's no reason to full pencil and then ink it digitally over top of that. So I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I always make the joke that I wish iPad would make like an even bigger one.
Oh God.
Yeah, I just read they might be doing like a 14 and 16 inch like next year. So
oh shit.
If they get that, I'm in.
No, dude, I'm with you. I get it as well. I'm just glad you said something because my iPad is a 2017.
Yeah.
And I've been like, I should probably upgrade it at 6 years old. But now that I know that, and if it's literally is 2024, they might do it. I will hold out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think mine's a first gen. I still got like the fucking round pencil or whatever the fuck they call it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
wait, is yours a 12.9 inch?
Mm-hmm. It was like that's like the first generation of the iPad Pros.
That was a weird question.
Clip it.
Go ahead.
Will's asking, it says, Dennis, do you feel like you can draw better by gleaning off of Andy and these conversations? The answer is absolutely not. I did one of our earlier ones where I did my First Man. I did a sketch of First Man. That is the best stick figure. And then I wrote the number 1 ST with an arrow. That is as good as I can draw, folks. Now, I can do things like the Starship Enterprise and some technical stuff like that. That's kind of more up my alley. I can't draw worth a crap. Never have been. Never will be able to. And I don't spend any of my time doing that. Not when he can do that. I'll do all the fun stuff and do all the world building and the creating that way. I'll let him do the stuff. I can't do it. No. I did my first comic book after Star Trek 2, where I did a Star Trek manga enterprise, and I did like a little comic book and stuff. Dude, I mean, my guys' faces kind of look like manga from Robotech and stuff like that. I can't draw hands or feet to save my life. There's no point. There really is no point. I'll play games. I'll let the people who can really draw. But I appreciate the question.
There you go. Hey, here's a question. Who's coloring the work?
Anthony George.
Now, how'd you guys? Is that somebody you knew before the project? Is it somebody Mark suggested?
No, that's Mark's guy for like everything. Even I think he's doing Graveyard Shift.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's his guy for Graveyard Shift, I believe.
Because he did Sea Dog, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm telling you, Mark, I think even Mark will say it. If he can use them, if Anthony George has time, that's who Mark uses.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, sorry, Andy, I didn't know this would trigger a Star Trek conversation.
Here we go.
Well, everything
triggers
a Star Trek conversation. So if you're going to ask questions, it's going to be related to Trek or X-Men.
His wife learned early on when they were having their alone time.
It's called Ponfar.
Not to talk, because anything she might say during that alone time would get him out of the mood and on to Star Trek.
So you guys, I have a brother. We're sitting at we're big card players, right? So we're all sitting at the table playing cards and stuff like that. We're playing Oh Hell, I think it was. And I went just like that, and my wife started doing the ponfaring. My brother yells up. He's like, "Mom, Dennis and Susie are ponfaring at the table again." My mom's got no idea what any of this shit means.
Can I be honest? I'm not. I don't know Star Trek for shit.
There you
go.
You and me both, because we're sane. We're normal. We had lives outside of high school.
You started talking, alone time in Star Trek. I thought maybe you were going to make a Captain Kirk's favorite position joke or something. You start getting into the technical shit. I have no idea.
Oh no,
well, that's where Andy would take this. Yes.
I don't know anything about Star Trek. I don't know what Captain Kirk's. I know he likes green chicks, but that's about it.
There you go.
Who doesn't?
Enough, I guess.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. What type of shows did you enjoy, or do you still watch, or are you not a TV guy at all?
I'm not so much anymore. Game of Thrones really pissed me off with their ending. I was so fucking invested in that, man. I was in it, and then the ending, I was just like, fuck.
Now, see, I didn't watch Game of Thrones,
right?
But I tell you, a show that pissed me off their ending was Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, see, I didn't watch that. I've been watching clips of it. I wish I did.
Didn't we talk about that before?
Nope. I was not a Sons of Anarchy.
Man.
I was a Lost fan.
I know that ending, though. I know. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lost. Did you watch Lost?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, see, I watched Lost, and yeah, that one they totally shit the bed on. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy, it was such a great show.
Yeah.
And then basically Jax, the main character, is riding down the road in Cali and decides to take his motorcycle right in front of an 18-wheeler and just go head onto an 18-wheeler.
Well, that's how his real old man went out, right? Isn't that like the connection there?
It might have been. I honestly don't
remember,
but even if it was, I'm just like, sucks. Oh boy, you wrapped it around that way, going, well, this is how my old man did it. I guess I will.
And then like Sopranos, same thing. Like,
yes,
you can tell me that's like an artistic ending and all that bullshit.
Dude, after that much investment, it was right on. I agree with you. 40% Zed. Lost still makes me angry. I want my time back. Right? There were so many cool twists every season, something going. Some of them didn't always make sense, but they were always good. And then you literally just shit the bed at the end. I mean, honestly. I mean, this is just crap.
Will says he talked to Bart Sears at Nickel City the past weekend, and he's told you a lot of stories about me. I'm sure they were all good. Not even worried about that. There's not one story he could tell that I'd go, oh, that's so embarrassing. Why would you say that?
That's because you don't get embarrassed about anything.
Exactly. I'm not even wearing pants right now.
And I'm not embarrassed. Just don't stand up.
Wait a minute. That's why I saw his hand move over.
This is a
It is.
family-friendly stream.
That's why my hands are always above table.
That's right. Well, guys, go check out WRITHE PAYNE. Chris, I'm glad you could join the show. Nothing against Mark.
Hell
but
yeah, man.
it was funny because I like having Mark on. I'm assuming did he mention anything to you like he wouldn't be able to make it, or
No, if I know him, like, because his job's going through like a transition of
he probably got held up?
he
No,
probably
that's
got held
fine.
up. Yeah.
That's what I figured, because I mean, when we set up the time, he said he'd probably pop on around 4:15, and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's no problem. We'll kill it for 15 minutes talking about the ultra right beer and whatnot. But it's cool having somebody new on, because like Dennis said, when we have a new person, we always go, what's your origin story and stuff. And we've done that with Mark. So with Mark, we just would have been shooting the bull, which would have been fun. We'll get him around again.
Oh, yeah,
But
man.
this was really cool to be able to talk to you more, because at the show you were all the way in the cold room.
Yeah, jeez.
And,
My balls
Yeah,
off in that
they
fucking
were in the ice rink. Yeah, in the nice, comfortable side.
And motherfuckers, I think they turned down the air conditioning the next day. I was even man, I tell you, I was achy.
It's funny. Now, look.
Thank God my chairs weren't metal. My balls would have been stuck to that fucking thing. It was so cold.
Dude, I'm not an AC guy type, knowing any of that technical stuff, but I know you were sitting on top of ice. And they've got to keep it, I assume. Well, once again, you're on top of ice with literally just what? I'm looking over now at the mats that I have underneath my bench. It was just that
tiny mat.
Yeah, it's that little padding that you put under like a weight bench and stuff.
Yeah.
So that cold had to be cut, because like I couldn't believe it. Like Graham told me, this was my first year at that con, and last year Graham was in that room with Billy, and they mentioned to Dave going, don't put us in that room. So they didn't. Thank you, Graham.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
when I walked over there, I was like, oh my God. So
Yeah. See, I barely noticed you come over, man. I'm like sitting there, like I'm trying to draw on sketch, and like
forget it.
literally my fucking hand's stiff, arthritis fucking setting in. It was fun though, because that was my first real con actually doing the show. So it was cool to freeze to death with Mark.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Randy just popped. You picked up 2 backers on Indiegogo today and another one on FMC.
Oh, fuck yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that.
That's beautiful. And before we go, we have to mention Kor-Drath, The Reckoning, guys. 76 pages. I'm starting page 69. That's the next one on the table. So, man, you're good at math, Dennis. 69 from 76 is...
Still 7.
Still 7. 7 pages to go, and the book's going to be done. Holy crap. We are getting to the finish line. Go check it out. If you like Barbarians, Conan, Game of Thrones, the right way, Dungeons and Dragons, you'll like Kor-Drath, The Reckoning. If you haven't checked it out, links are in the description below. Randy's doing his due diligence and posting them for us. Oh, yeah. We are actually over 86,000 because we did run a campaign on Kickstarter as well. So we're creeping on the $90,000 stretch goal. Dennis has busted his ass to write you guys a game module. So if you're into D&D role-playing type games, that's exactly what he wrote. It's playable with characters you created. It's playable with the Kor-Drath characters, because we have those guys statted out so you can play them as well. That's awesome. There's, of course, the beautiful Bud Root cover that you can get. The T-shirts will be coming down at the end of this month. So if you have not ordered a T-shirt yet, do not hesitate. Get yourself either the T-shirt, the metal edition, we call it, that features part of the cover that I did, or the Bud Root T-shirt that is a beautiful 10-color print to show off the beautiful colors Dan Lawless did. And, of course, get a beanie for when your head gets chilly, like at a convention on an ice rink.
Yeah.
And if you're girthy like me, you might need 2 of them. Just saying. Right, big guy.
I hope you mean for your head, because obviously
I need 2 of them because I'm totally bald.
You have to put 2 over your head.
Right.
I got it. You're a 2-ply.
I don't know where your mind went, sicko.
Yep.
Double bagging.
That's right. I double bag my head in the winter. Get that. 12.9. So guys, go check out Kor-Drath, The Reckoning. We totally appreciate all your support.
Hey, Will, I am reading the chat, and I was going to bring it up. They have been saying we need to have on Corin Kaiser Stone for his art book launch. Just contact probably Andy. Just contact Andy and do it. We will figure out schedules, what we can do, and we'll figure out a way to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, you can always DM me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Shoot me a message. You can shoot Dennis a message too. He's on Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yep.
And shoot over a link and all that stuff. And yeah, we can definitely see. We like having guests on to talk about their work, their experience, and their campaigns and stuff. So definitely, that's not a problem. And with that, next Wednesday, yes, we are back on Wednesday. Dennis did have friends in town this week, so we bounced it to Friday so we could not skip a week and do the show. Next Wednesday, we're going to have Michael Bancroft on, the man from down under. Crikey! Might have to get Fosters out for him. Dennis, pick up a couple Fosters for next Wednesday.
I think I will. And we're going to try and get some movie reviews. It's been a rough few weeks here with all the conventions, with my friends staying with us. And
I have seen Indiana Jones, but we can't review it because he hasn't yet. I also saw, damn it, now I'm blanking on the name of the movie with Jennifer Lawrence, the comedy that just came out. But it was good, but Dennis hasn't seen it yet.
I am going to see, I think on Sunday, hopefully, the name, the one with the child trafficking. Freedom. Yeah, Sounds of Freedom.
Sounds of Freedom.
And we wanted to see it, but, with my godkids and stuff in town, it wasn't a movie I was going to take them to. So we're doing that. I did get them to watch Jury Duty, so I've now seen it for the second time, and you guys will want to hear our review. Andy and I are both going to do the review on it, and I know you guys were asking about it, and I got sucked into Ted Lasso of all things, even though it's now over. I was not one that watched it, and damn them for making me do it.
All right, dude, definitely hit me up, and we'll see what we can do. And yeah, next Wednesday is Bancroft. We'll be back then. Chris, hang out behind the scenes real quick while we end it. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Have fun. We're going to finish off these ultra right.
Mine's already done.
Well, mine actually is pretty much done.
Steaks and weights, baby. Steaks and weights.
That's right, baby. Steaks and weights. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.